Welcome to the Boom Room, a platform where the action takes place, real-life interviews from local celebrities, comedy, relationships, sports, business, and hip-hop. Hosted by Adrian Success Gully. The Boom Room is so explosive.
That is the rudest I've ever seen in my life.
The Boom Room.
The Otis Lyons. The Otis Lyons. I want to say the Otis Lyons is in the house tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I want y'all to give a big round of applause for that right there, boy. The Otis Lyons, he came today. Man, I appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate you being
here. Yes,
sir.
Yes, sir. Now, we know we got you. Yeah, we know we got you here, man. And a lot of people want to know where you from and what you got going on, my brother.
I am from Garland, Texas.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to Garland.
Yes, sir.
I am a native. I was born and raised on the east side of Garland, Dairy Road, to be exact.
I know where that's at.
Yeah, and Dairy Road in Alto.
Okay.
Yeah. I was one of the few young people that was raised in the Rainbow Apartments, and we talking about history here.
Okay.
I feel very blessed being able to have this opportunity to share the history of the city of Garland, and I thank you for giving us the opportunity.
Most definitely. So tonight we're talking about Garland Legends, and that's one of the Garland Legends is one of the things that now you're originally from Garland, Texas.
Man, went from Parkland back to Garland. So yes, sir. Okay. I am one of the originals. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't even know that people like us look like we do in Garland. There's a lot of us, and I was raised there, and happily to be raised there under the legends that I was raised in, and some of the knowledge and the experience that I got from there. I wouldn't change it for nothing. Okay,
all right, okay, cool. So now you came you went to what elementary did you go to?
I went to Walnut Glen. Walnut Glen Elementary. That's actually on the west side of Garland.
West side, okay.
Closer to North Dallas.
Okay.
I believe it's between Shiloh and Jupiter on Forest Lane.
Okay.
On Forest and it's particularly called Barnes Street.
Okay, Barnes Street. Okay.
Yeah, Barnes Street.
I think I know where this is located.
Barnes Street. It's a 5-mile radius of apartment complex from all walks of life. It was a big social community, and it was like a melting pot of success people. It's what you wanted to call the industrial side of Garland, the business side of Garland, and I really thank that side of Garland for me being the entrepreneur that I am, because that's where I got that blueprint from.
Okay. So you went from east side,
more family oriented, to the west side that was more business oriented.
Okay, got you. Now you went to what junior high? What junior high?
I went to Jackson. I was one of the trailblazers of being the first black quarterbacks.
Oh, really?
Of the football team.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I was I might got pictures. I was possibly the only black on the basketball
team. So sports was one of the things that you did back in the day in coming up through Garland.
That was a lifesaver for me.
Oh, okay. Lifesaver.
Sports got me out of the environment that could have drugged me into a whole different scenario.
Now, was Garland was there a lot of black people in Garland during that time?
Well, there were areas
of black
that was considered like black areas, but the whole city was considered a melting pot. But there was specific areas, like we had the West End before the Dallas West End.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know about the Dallas West End before I knew about the West End of Garland.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And that's where. If you know where on Garland Road, not too far from Garland High School, where Grandy's is,
right?
That neighborhood right behind it where the police station is, that's considered the West End.
The West End.
And that's where they had the lower, I'm going to consider what they consider the lower class blacks.
Lower class blacks?
Yeah, they was there on the little island.
Right.
And then the second class citizens were kind of like on the east side where there were houses.
Okay.
There wasn't very many apartment complex
during that time.
On that side, on the east side.
Okay.
So that was considered like the second class citizens.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of that area.
Okay.
Over where where we was talking about Carver.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later. But that's where that area was.
Okay. And you went to high school. What high school in Garland?
Well, I am a North Garland Raider.
North Garland Raider. What's that? Y'all
class of '94.
Class of '94.
Yeah, class of '94.
Class of '94 was okay.
Yeah, and I graduated as a basketball champion.
Okay.
First time in 20 years.
Wow. At North Garland. Okay, North Garland, and that
was not considered a basketball mecca.
Really?
No.
So
Garland High. Some people say South Garland and then Lakeview.
Right, I heard Lake. Okay,
but then North Garland wasn't even in the races.
Really?
And it was actually to my advantage not to go to South Garland or Lakeview because of my strong family that was over there. So I had to go to North Garland so I can actually make a different name for myself.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. So that was the North Garland was the actual basketball star, the football star at North Garland. That's what you were at during that time.
Yes, sir.
I like that. Sir. So I know we talked about the Lyons Foundation.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and how did that come about? How did that get started?
Well, that's a good question. It actually started from the time that I understood what was going on in our neighborhood. I mean, we had strong, legendary icons that I wanted to be like. Okay. And by the time I got to the age where I could make that transition, it was no longer there.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And so I was privileged enough to have the skill and to see and to be part of such a legendary experience. Mm-hmm. Big shout out to Mookie Blaylock and
most definitely that.
And Ricky Pierce.
Yeah.
You know, and Neil Derrick and some of the other basketball icons that came out of there that's known worldwide.
Right. That's true.
You know, and so I just felt like I was one of them.
Okay.
You know, and when I got my time to shine is when I shined. And when I won that championship against South Garland, Lakeview, and Garland High, all the people that I looked up to,
right?
It left a championship seed in my heart,
right? Okay,
where I felt like a champion on and off the court.
Oh, okay. So what year did you actually start the foundation?
2005.
2005.
2005 is when it was actually presented to me because my mother was a caregiver of the east side of Garland.
Okay.
She wasn't a nurse, but she acted as a nurse because she knew a lot of remedies. Mm-hmm. She knew a lot of things that could take care of the elders and the children.
Right.
And so when people got sick, they called on my mother. And my mother is the oldest of 14 people in my family.
Whoa.
My big mama and my big daddy. I know that's old school.
Yeah, big mama, big daddy.
I grew up with the big mama, big daddy times, and my mother was their first. And so I had 13 uncles and aunties that I had experience growing up under. Okay. So it was their lifestyle that helped me develop the what they call it, the philanthropic kind of push where I I wanted to represent them. I looked up to them people. Those people helped me make it through such a tough time at that time, and I just felt like I was responsible for doing the same thing.
Oh, okay. So when you started your foundation, what was your target, or what was you trying to accomplish with your foundation?
Well, being raised by the community as one of the village kids, I was really one of the village kids, where everybody felt like I was a part of them. That I was their nephew, cousin, brother, son. You know, and so that actually kept me even with my family that wanted to separate me from people that they didn't get along with and stuff like that. But I saw so much at such a young age to where I just took the responsibility of what I felt like I belonged to. Okay. Which was, you know, wisdom, understanding, education, and knowledge. Right.
Gotcha.
And so for the ones that came up under me, I felt like it was a priority for me to give them a chance. You know, not that I would or that they took it from me. It's just that I would extend myself to be fruitful of knowledge.
Right. To help the younger generation.
The younger generation, the lost generation.
Right.
You know, the incarcerated generation.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you have programs to help people that's been incarcerated, people that's getting out of situations of abuse and stuff like that. Is that correct?
We work with people who are very instrumental in social and economic development. Okay. You know, from all walks of life, whether it be the children or whether it be the parents. Okay. There were situations and systems in place that actually monitored me and helped me through the single parent household that I grew up in. Right. My mother worked 3 to 11. I'm pretty sure a lot of people can relate to that.
Almost definitely. Yeah.
And so through that situation, you know, there was a lot of people who are behind the scenes that made a impact in my life. And so I feel like I have that same obligation.
Okay. To help the people to get a start on life, knowledge, career, talent, whatever it is that you can help them with. That is what your foundation is basically based on.
Yes, sir. Okay. If you don't mind, our mission is to build strong communities through building strong people. Okay. We strive to uplift and educate by providing the necessary tools that lead a healthy, prosperous, spirit-filled life.
Oh, okay. Cool. I like that. I like that. So who was one of your mentors that at the time that you was growing up to make a decision to start your foundation?
My mother.
Your mother. Okay.
My mother was the biggest impact because she wouldn't dare try to turn this into a foundation. Okay. This is who she was and this is who she is, and we never got credit for it. Right. You know, my sister and I, between church and her involvement in the community, we actually felt deprived. Okay. At some point. Right. Because things that we wanted, we couldn't have because the things that my mama wanted and needed to do and still do to this day for the community.
Right. Gotcha.
You know, so I'm just saying my mother was my biggest inspiration, but one of my pillar mentors was people like Chester B. Johnson. Okay. You know, the neighbor next door. Okay. You know, people that you probably, you know, Chester B was very instrumental in showing me how to do it correctly. Okay. He wasn't necessarily involved in what I was doing, but he knew about what I was doing it for. Okay. Because I don't know his situation, but I was actually neglected my daddy didn't claim me as a child. So when I came from the hospital and the word got out, you know, daddy didn't even claim him. Right. So people took a liking to my family, my mother, you know, whatever, and they all shared it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And so, you know, the work ethic that I have today come from, you know, the involved community that took a liking to me, and here we are.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I got you. Now, you were speaking about some of the guys that are Garland Legends. We had a today the Garland Legend, and you're one of them as well. And the other ones that are actually you named Mookie Blaylock, you named some people. Is there any other people that that you consider the Garland Legend?
Well, I mean, it is so many that I don't want to disrespect them.
Almost definitely.
By not honoring their name on the show today.
Right. Okay.
But I do have access to these people that would love to be involved as a speaker.
Okay.
And would love to be a part of this project. And you are so respectful, and I admire, you know, the credit that you're trying to give me.
Oh, most definitely.
By calling me a legend.
Yes, sir.
However, I can never become one as long as they living.
Well, I mean,
you see what I'm saying?
Right, I get it.
I appreciate it. I'm on the move.
Right.
I'm moved by them.
Right.
And I feel like I do understand what you're saying.
Most definitely. Yeah.
And some of those people, like Chester B. Johnson, who was one of the legendary quarterbacks of a high school that most people that know about Garland never understood.
Right.
They had a black-only high school.
Right, most definitely, yeah.
Called Carver
Right.
High School.
Right.
George Washington Carver was in Garland.
Oh, okay.
And they were undefeated.
Okay.
Never lost a game.
Oh, okay.
Some of those people that was on the team was Randy Love.
Okay.
You know, and people like Carl, you know, some of the names, I lose some of the names because I'm so much younger.
Right.
But through trying to redevelop and reestablish Garland as an empire the way that it should be looked at, and as far as our community,
right.
I'm so much younger.
Right.
It's so many decades above my time.
Right, most definitely. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. So with your
if I could think of some.
most definitely. So with your foundation, how because you say 2005 that when you started your foundation, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So and since 2005, what accomplishments have you had since 2005 up to now?
Wow. I mean, we have covered a lot of ground.
Okay.
Not only in Garland, we moved to the surrounding cities, some of the suburbs in Garland, Richardson, Plano, Mesquite.
Okay.
You know, Box Springs is a big supporter of the Lyons Foundation.
Okay.
You know, we have West Dallas, Fort Worth, but we deal with social and economic issues.
Okay.
You know, the beast in particular. What I mean by the beast, we deal with business, education, agriculture, sports and training. Okay. Both training in sports, physical fitness, and health and awareness. Right. And also in business training. Okay. No. And that's what you actually see right here with the paint and taping bed. And
I got you. So I like that. Beast. Beast means, and this is something. Say that I wanted people to get really. That's really. I like that.
Business, education, agriculture, sports and training.
Oh man.
That's what developed me into being what I am, and that's what keeps me doing what I'm doing. Okay.
Now you hear that, y'all. That is something that needs to be said. Now that's what I'm talking about, my brother. Beast. I'm about to steal that down.
It's for all of us.
That's tight.
It's for us. It's for us, man.
That's right.
We should be businessmen. We should be educators. We should be agriculturists. Right. And we should be training in sports. Right. And training. Right. And business.
Right. Most definitely. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. So it's just is it an acronym or synonym?
Well, I mean, you can consider acronym. Yeah.
Okay, it's just an acronym that's for something that's bigger than ourselves,
right.
But it keeps me in line, and so that I don't go all over the place.
Right, most definitely.
You know what I'm saying? So
I got you.
The sports is what saved my life.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
Business is what kept me structured in life.
Mm-hmm.
Agriculture is what keep me healthy.
Right. Gotcha.
Along with training.
Mm-hmm. Gotta have that training, brother. Yeah. Gotta have the training.
Physical fitness and in business.
Right.
So right now, the painters, the contractors is training our communities. They open to training if people are willing.
Right.
And with the barber business being slow.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, for sure.
And I don't have time to make excuses.
Yes, sir.
I get in there with the contractors.
That's good.
What we are is a resource center between the workers, the sweat and labor, and the productive business that's treating people right.
Okay, gotcha.
You see what I'm saying?
Got you. Most definitely.
You got business people that don't want to deal with no lazy people,
right?
And you got good, strong, talented people that don't want to be screwed by the business people.
Right, gotcha.
So I monitor both.
Okay.
And I hook them up.
Okay, cool.
And try to make a success story out of both sides.
I got you. Now, is there anybody else that's working with you and your foundation? Is anybody else that
there's a ton of nonprofits. Big shout out to the nonprofits that's out there that no one knows about, that are doing very instrumental and important things in our community.
Okay.
We work with the Volunteer Center of they call them Volley now, but they Volunteer Center of North Texas.
Okay.
Where we work with people who are on probation.
Okay. Cool.
And they got community service hours that need to get off.
Okay.
We are one of hundreds of nonprofits in the northern sector.
Okay.
That they can choose from.
Right.
From a list.
Okay.
That they can do their community service with.
Okay.
It's not guaranteed. They can come to your organization and not like how you deal and it ends there.
Right.
Or they could have success stories by doing all their community service hours there.
Okay. Cool.
So it's just not, it's court mandated.
Okay.
So it's just not something that, no homeboy, homegirl thing.
Right.
It's really legit and it's structured to help people, and that's one of the instruments that changed my life.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
I like that.
I was on juvenile probation at 12 years old.
Uh-huh.
I had you asked me about an instrumental person in my life. It was my probation officer, Garland Warren, who is now a pastor of his own church out in Sherman.
That's good.
Shout out to Mr. Garland Warren.
Okay.
Who was a very instrumental person in my life. Not that he was easy. He was really tough. But the fact that he had respect for me, and the one thing that he did for me was he rewarded me for something that in my household was asked of me.
Okay.
Back in the day, you didn't get rewarded for good grades.
Right.
You was expected
to get good,
to have good grades.
Yeah, that's true.
And this man rewarded me for something in my household I was expected to do, and it added value to my perception of my reality.
Okay, gotcha.
That changed my life.
I got you.
So Dr. Warren, and I call him a doctor because he's a doctor in his craft at this point. He allowed me the opportunity to start rewarding myself for good grades.
Right.
For the rewards of my society.
Right.
And he gave me the opportunity to learn it so that I can do it for myself and not expect no one else to do it.
Gotcha. That makes a lot
and
of
the
sense.
big, and you are actually doing the same thing.
I'm trying to keep it up, man. I'm trying to keep it up.
Reward me for something that I felt like
most definitely.
that I've been through, and this is kind of like a reward for me being very instrumental and passionate about something that I couldn't see.
Right, most definitely. Yeah. And well, like I said,
that makes sense.
Almost makes a lot of sense. And we're gonna come. Hey man, hey listen, y'all. I always, like I say, I always started this. I always try to have the best people I can bring to the Boom Room, man, ladies and gentlemen. And I always, man, this guy right here, I've been talking to him for a while, just getting into his life, getting into his story, and he got many, many, many more things to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. But tonight, man, where can they find you at? Because I want to make sure they can go and get on your Facebook page, your social media, whatever you got it going.
Right now, everything is under construction.
Okay.
I kind of went underground.
Okay.
And right here is where I'm building myself back up at,
right,
because I'm not really into social media.
Okay.
I'm only doing this for the people, and that's it.
Oh man, that's